Welcome. It is so wonderful to see you all here tonight for our special event for the Innovation Pathways. My name is Carrie Quinlan Joe. I am the superintendent of Bourne Public Schools, and I'm very proud to be here and open up our ribbon cutting ceremony today. I'll tell you a little bit about our program and why we're here tonight. Bourne Public Schools is reimagining education to ensure that all of our students have access to relevant and hands-on learning experiences. Our schools have a deep tradition of supporting a well-rounded education with our excellent performing and visual arts programs, our inclusive, civic-minded culture, and our opportunities for students to participate in a wide range of athletic and co-curricular programs. With over 25 offerings in advanced placement and pre-AP courses, Bourne High School is preparing our students for success in the future. But tonight we're celebrating a new milestone and preparing our students for success in college and career. It is so exciting to see all of our students in the Innovation Pathways over here. Please come on through the arch. Tonight we are launching, even though we started at the beginning of the school year, 2 Department of Elementary and Secondary Education recognized innovation pathways. Those pathways are in business and finance and in life science and environmental. And the students you see over here to the side, who many of you will get to speak with, are part of those pathways or part of our senior internship, which is something I'll tell you about a little later. Very exciting. We also have in the works a 3rd pathway in the health sciences, and I'm happy to say that we just received our Part A application, which means we're on our way to getting that designation as well. This evening we have a ribbon cutting ceremony for 2 of our brand new spaces, and those spaces came to us through highly competitive grants for the Skills Capital. You'll be able to see our medical suite, which includes an ambulance simulator, very cool, right down the way, and also our business suite, which has an IMAX studio and places for business students to meet with clients. All very exciting. You'll also be able to tour tonight our aquaponics lab and our sustainability section of our high school. So a little bit about the pathways. These pathways are aligned with the Cape and Islands demand for careers. So we worked hand in hand with our friends on the Workforce Investment Board and Mass Hire. And some are here tonight, and I'll recognize them. These pathways include college-level coursework, of which, as I said, we have many AP and pre-AP courses. Technical coursework, so our students will be able to get a flavor for what they'll be studying possibly in college, and more importantly, an internship in the field of their choice. But at Bourne High School, we want to make sure that all students have access, so regardless of if they choose to be in a pathway, they can be in one of our internships, and that's what you'll be able to see here tonight. So if a student has an interest in real estate, physical therapy, or anything you can imagine, they're actually able to do quite the internship and get some real life skills. Later in the program, you'll hear from our esteemed principal, Amy Setner, who will talk a little bit about the evolution of our Pathways program, because it's been in the works for quite some time. She'll also talk about our future pathways that we're planning going forward. And then closing our program out, you'll hear from one of our students, Mackenzie McMaster, who will talk a little bit about her experience thus far in our inaugural year of our Pathways program. So all of this could not be possible without the support of many, many individuals and organizations. Please give me a few more moments to thank those folks, of which, as I said, there are many. And they're actually sneaking around behind me too. So the first person I wanted to thank, nope, she's running away, is our School to Career Innovation Pathways Coordinator, Anne-Marie Strode, who really is the driving force behind much of this. She does the work. And she has a small but mighty team with her, and that includes Kim Iannucci, I saw here a minute ago, Jesse Clements, Amy Setner, and Barbara Starkey. As I said previously, these pathways are designated by the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. It was a competitive process for us to be accepted. And so we would like to thank Commissioner Jeffrey Riley, and most of all, the Innovation Pathways lead, Jennifer Guatkin, who was instrumental in helping us prepare these applications and support us. So we do want to thank them. And as I mentioned previously, there has been substantial funding for the equipment through the Skills Capital Grant, which comes out of the Baker-Polito administration. And we would like to specifically thank James Poplansky, the Skills Capital Grant Manager from the Executive Office of Education. Our friends from the Cape and Island Workforce Board and Mass Hire have been with us through this entire process, so we do want to recognize Samantha Fonseca and Kara Galvin. And then I do see assembled here many of our partners in the community. Like I said, we have, I believe, 37 interns throughout the community, and I know that you'll go and speak with them. They can't wait to tell you about their experiences so far. And they're in places, including our partners from the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce. I see Marie here. Thank you for coming. The Bourne Police and Bourne Fire Departments have been really fantastic, so thank you all. We have interns throughout the community, including 2 other really exceptional places like Joint Base Cape Cod and Mass Maritime. So we do want to thank them as well for hosting our students. And this all couldn't be possible without support from the town of Bourne, including our town administrator, Molly McCollum, our select board, and our Bourne Public Schools school committee folks that include here tonight Carrie Schofield, Paul McMaster, Maureen Fuller, and Ryan Bagdonis. So we have a few guest speakers this evening, and I'd like to first welcome to the podium and mic our Massachusetts State Representative Dave Vieira, who has been a longtime supporter of Bourne Public Schools and our high school in particular. David?
Thank you. It's great to be back in this room. I haven't been here since before COVID. But before COVID, I came to this room many times when Anne Marie would invite me in to work with various programs and projects that were happening, starting all the way back when the Cape Cod Community College and the Bourne School Committee entered the original partnership. I was at that school committee meeting when Bourne said, we're going to allow students to work towards their associate's degree and their high school diploma at the same time. And that was just sort of the first signal. It was a foreshadow to what dedication this administration has had, the school committee has had in this community. You know, these skills grants are not easy to come by. There's a lot of applications, and there's only so much money that we can put into these pools. So these are competitive applications that the administration, the Baker-Polito administration, has had to deal with. And what has always given, in my mind, the edge to Bourne, and when Representative Zaros and myself, Senator Moran, before that Senator DiMacedo, whenever we would weigh in and make phone calls, it was about the way the community connects with the schools. Now everybody says we have school community connections. Well, some are stronger than others. And let me tell you, right here in Bourne, it's strong. It's strong when we look at the folks that are in the room. We look at the folks that are on the panel later on about this college and career panel, and how they go above and beyond to make those connections, not just for the district and for the school department, but to make those individual connections that all of you are experiencing now in the internships, right? There are folks who are saying, hey, come on over and we'll show you how this works. Ask us questions, let's learn. And you know what? A lot of times when I meet with the folks on the other side, the adults on the other side of the internship, they tell me about what they learned from the internship that they do with the students as well. And that's really a win-win relationship. So as we move forward here, and as we continue to get certifications for the next program, the health program, and future certifications with the Cape Cod Community College, what we really need to focus on is what are these young people going to be able to do when they leave? And that's where the Workforce Investment Board and the organizations that are looking at the community on Cape Cod and southeastern Massachusetts are identifying the shortages, where we have massive shortages of workers in certain industries, in certain areas. And we have a lot of folks that are looking for jobs, and they'll apply, and if they don't have the skill set, they can't get the job. And so by starting here in the secondary level, working with our community colleges, with our state universities and private colleges, to be able to make sure that the young people have a vision of where they want to go, but then have the resources to get there. And so in a small way, it's an honor to be a representative of this community. who's shown time and time again its commitment to bringing all of the players together and then reaching out for the assistance that we can provide at the state level. So keep up the good work. Look forward to hearing from some of our interns, and also maybe putting my name on the list. I could use a couple of interns too.
I think our interns will be in high demand now and when they're looking for jobs, so definitely. So the next speaker that we have is also a friend to Bourne. He's a little new to being with us, but still nonetheless a very big supporter. So please welcome to the podium Representative Stephen
Exaros.
Thank you, Superintendent. This is awesome. Dave, thank you for your remarks. You're spot on. Bourne is different. It's strong, and I love it. I mean, not many towns can say they have a canal, and they have 3 federal bridges, 2 of them that we're going to be replacing. So me, I'm Stephen Exaros. I'm new. I'm your state representative for parts of Bourne, all of Sandwich, and even Barnstable. But I come from New Bedford, the city of New Bedford. And I wish we had something like this when I was younger. This is amazing. I spent 40 years as a police officer prior to doing this. And it's all about service. It's all about education. It's about taking chances. It's about giving it all you have. And so when I came in and I got a peek at the ambulance and all that stuff, I love it. You know, where would we be without our first responders? The police officers, the firefighters, the EMTs, the doctors, the nurses, especially what we've come through with the pandemic. So what you're doing here, Superintendent, is special. It's just what we need. We want you to learn on Cape Cod and stay on Cape Cod. It's a beautiful place to live. I've been all over the world, and it's always nice to be on Cape Cod. So learn here, raise your family here, be safe, and stay here. We need you, Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito. We believe in local education, state colleges. I see our president from Cape Cod Community College in the back. That's where I went when I was a young guy, right out of New Bedford, came to the Cape and became a police officer and served 40 years. So God bless you guys, you as well, Superintendent, everybody here. And one of my favorite sayings for the educators that are in the room, if you want to change the world, be a teacher. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome someone who's been in Bourne High School for a long time. First as a guidance counselor, and then later going up the ranks in administrative. And I'd like to welcome Amy Setner to talk about our programs.
Thank you. So I just wanted to give a little bit of background to where we were and how far we've come in such a short time. Over the past few years, we've been working on developing programming to get students thinking about the relevance of their coursework and specifically how it relates to not only what they're doing in school every day, but how it relates to life beyond high school. We started off relatively small. Initially, we required that every student complete coursework in career exploration and personal finance as a first step in this process. We already had those courses in our program of studies, but they weren't required. They were electives. But we felt that it was important to make every student take these courses. So that's where we began. Because the feedback from students on this small change was so positive, we knew we had to continue to build on this momentum. It was positive, it was energizing, and the kids really were getting a lot out of these experiences. So why not push for more? What started off as a few required real-world courses quickly bloomed into the development and implementation of innovation pathways, which strategically align our course offerings, the ones that we have currently, as well as the ones that we're developing to support them, to student college and career goals. And I'm happy to say that this programming has taken our vision of enhancing college and career readiness to the next level. Reimagining what education looks like at Bourne High School has been spearheaded by our School to Careers Innovation Pathways Coordinator and Educator Extraordinaire, Anne-Marie Strode. As a result of her passion for the work and vision for the program, Bourne High School was awarded 2 Innovation Pathway designations from the state last spring, Business and Finance and Life and Environmental Science. And as Dr. Joe mentioned earlier, this fall we anticipate adding a healthcare pathway and plan to continue to add additional pathways relative to student interests and career goals as we move forward. So some of the pathways that we're looking at strategically right now are education, engineering, and protective services. So firefighters and police and law enforcement. To support this work, we applied for and received 2 substantial skills capital grants that were mentioned earlier from the Baker-Polito administration. One $75,000 skills capital grant was used to establish our business suite to support real-world authentic learning opportunities such as designing and executing advertising and marketing campaigns, complete with the new iMac computers and many other digital marketing related tools and machines, which you'll get to see this evening. Another substantial $75,000 skill capital grant was used for the purpose of purchasing our ambulance simulator and other health field-related items, which aligns with the implementation of a future health sciences pathway, but also supports our current coursework here at Bourne High School. The excitement and buzz around these new spaces over the past few months from both students and adults has been energizing for this building and for our community. Students are excited about accessing new coursework and hands-on learning environments designed to support their interests and their college and career goals. And what's truly unique about the programming here at Bourne High School is that there is a great deal of flexibility within each of our pathways. Each individual pathway opens doors to multiple opportunities, experiences, and certifications, not just one. It's an exciting time to learn, grow, and explore college and career options at Bourne High School. And tonight, we are opening our doors to show you what reimagining education looks like at Bourne High School. So welcome. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Now, before I bring up Mackenzie, again, we can't wait to hear from you. I do want to give you a preview of the rest of the night. So we'll have our public viewing of our business suite, our medical center, and our sustainable living lab. We also will have a feature in the media center, Oh, the Places You'll Go, which is our little ode to Dr. Seuss, but it really talks about the many, many possibilities that are out there for our students. And also, we hope you'll join us at 6:15 for a panel discussion on college and career readiness. And again, as was mentioned previously, we have some esteemed panelists from UMass Dartmouth, from Cape Cod Community College. We want to thank President Cox for coming tonight, and also from Massachusetts Maritime. So please see us there at 6:15. Now I'd like to welcome Mackenzie McMaster, who's going to speak to you a little bit about the innovation pathways.
My name is Mackenzie McMaster, and I'm currently a part of the Innovation Pathway in Life and Environmental Science. This is an area that I'm very interested in going into after high school, and I'm happy that I have the opportunity to explore this field more in high school. I think that having innovation or career pathways in high school is a great way to help students start to see why the classes they're taking are important. It's also a great way to develop knowledge and some skills that will only help in the future. One of the things that has also helped is taking our career readiness course. This helped me to explore careers and figure out what I'm most interested in for my future. Then, to enter the innovation pathway and take courses that relate to that career gives me an advantage when applying to college or even entering the workforce. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity, and I'm very happy to be part of this event. Thank you.
So we are going to cut our ribbon now. We have a count off. One, two. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Barbara
Starkey. I'm the Assistant Superintendent here in Bourne Public Schools, and it is my pleasure to facilitate tonight's panel discussion. Tonight's ribbon cutting, tours, and this panel presentation are great testaments to the combined efforts of VHS's Innovation Pathways team. Members of that team, Anne-Marie Strode, Kim Iannucci, Amy Setner, and previous member Kelly Cook, need acknowledgement for enacting a vision, one shared and promoted by Superintendent Joe, a vision to reimagine learning here at VHS. As many of you know, VHS boasts two active pathways, environmental and life sciences, and business and finance. A health, career, and social assistance pathway will begin this coming school year, and there are plans for future pathways in education, visual and fine arts, protective services, and engineering. All of these programs afford our students opportunities to explore and to learn through the lens of a variety of careers in specific fields. Pathways and their associated technical and advanced placement courses, along with internships, result in high levels of student engagement in school. Via a blend of practical and advanced studies, our high school students acquire a comprehensive skill set that propels them into a future and prepares them to be knowledgeable innovators. Tonight we have with us 4 panelists who will highlight the benefits of engaging in pathways here at VHS and who will illuminate the opportunities that await our students beyond the halls of high school. We have Mr. Chris Hilberg, founder and president of Alpha One Flight Services, Bourne resident and former member of the Bourne School. We have Dr. Frank Scarano, professor and chairperson of the Medical and Laboratory Sciences Department at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth. We have Mr. Michael Ortiz, Dean of Enrollment Management and Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer at Massachusetts Maritime Academy. We have Mrs. Jessie Clemens, our own 6 through 12 curriculum director for the Bourne Public Schools and the newest member of the Innovation Pathways team. Dr. John Crompton sends his regrets. He was not able to join us tonight from Cape Cod Community College. However, we are really pleased to have Michael Sasso, Aviation Maintenance Technology Program Director from Cape Cod. Our first set of questions tonight go to Mr. Chris Hilberg. Chris, the innovation pathways are designed and based on the needs of the local workforce. Speaking as a business person, what are the qualities you are looking for in an employee, and how have you seen these skills fostered in the students at Bourne High School?
Okay, first I have to say, can you all hear me okay? All right, first I have to say that I am a dad. I have 3 children that went to Bourne High School. I've known this crowd in the front, the hecklers in the front of this room for a long time. And I was also on the school committee for many years. I remember when the Innovation Studio was a woodworking room. I remember when this room right here was filled with books. I can tell you that I am just blown away by how the groundwork that the previous administration, the current administration, how Dr. Joe and Amy and all of you guys have really come together. I am so proud to see Bourne High School and what they've done. A lot of it is also because I know, having employed 44 interns at Alpha One Flight School at the airport in Plymouth over the last 35 years, I know how important this type of pathway program absolutely is. There is a language of business. There is a language of work. There's a language of public service that you simply can't learn attending school. And even some of the better programs, if you have that exposure, it's different than a summer job. This is something that you may be looking for a career and an opportunity. And I have seen that in students that intern with us. It gives them a real exposure to how to handle a customer on the phone, how to deal with maybe what might be perceived as an emergency. I can remember an intern one time calling me saying, I was in my office and he said, Chris, the airport's on the phone, I don't want to interrupt you, but they said there's an airplane upside down. Is somebody, you want to take that call? That's a learning moment for a lot of people at that time, especially that intern. So I've really seen success, and many of you might look at, especially aviation's a great career, Mike and I will tell you all about it, but some of the interns came to Alpha One thinking about being a pilot, which is appropriate. And many of them have been successful in that field. Others have used that as a launching board from what they learned to explore other opportunities. So there's more to talk about a little bit, but I see the interns and the quality of, and we've had Bourne High School interns, even at Plymouth, they make the whole way up there. It's worked out very, very well because of the type of skill set that they can pick up in school and use them practically at our office. I watched those, I saw the pathway programs, the class, I think I only have a minute. I saw the pathway programs there, and I can't endorse them more. This is a great opportunity.
Thank you. Chris, could you also speak to the specific qualities you're looking for in your employees?
Yes. I have a saying at our company, we've hired hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and many of them are captains for JetBlue now, and mechanics and dispatchers. These folks, we start with a person first. You hire a person, and if they have the right skills, we migrate them into different fields. So what I see that's best for students is a well-rounded, that's why I was really excited to see the Pathway program, a well-rounded program. Why would a pilot want to know about chemistry? But that connection with English, the type of advanced English, the type of advanced, some of the other programs that I saw are really critical to the overall development and application that we see at just the flight school level. And certainly within aviation, Mike and I can certainly talk about that on this side and the maintenance side. It's becoming more and more crucial every day.
Thank you so much. Our next questions are for Dr. Frank Scarano. Dr. Scarano, what are some types of careers in the health sciences field that our pathways support? And please be specific to regional opportunities.
Absolutely. I'm really happy to talk about medical laboratory science. It's one of those. And we'll talk about some others as well. Who knows what med lab science is? That's the problem, right? Medical laboratory scientists are the folks behind the medicine. We like to say that we're doing the science behind the medicine. Everyone knows what the doctor does and the physician does, but when they're making their diagnosis, they need the data that the folks in the laboratory are producing, right? So a specimen is collected. Everyone's heard about COVID, right? So those specimens, they had collection stations, and then those specimens had to go to the laboratory. The laboratory is the room, but the medical laboratory scientists are the folks in the room doing the science behind the medicine. So, for example, the COVID testing. But you can imagine every kind of pleasant and not so pleasant bodily substance that you can think of, right? We will test that and produce that data for the physicians and the rest of the healthcare team. It's a great basis for other kinds of healthcare fields. So we're talking about flexibility before. So in medical laboratory science, we study clinical microbiology, clinical hematology, clinical chemistry, and immunohematology or blood banking. Those are our 4 pillars. And then we branch out into other areas of clinical science as well. That gives us a lot of flexibility with understanding how the human body works. And then we have skills in the laboratory that are completely transferable. So it could be a clinical laboratory, it could be a research laboratory, it could be public health laboratory. It's the hands-on skills that we have, transferable skills. And also understanding the way the human body works. So physiology and pathophysiology, when there's a disease process present. So when we understand that, those skills are also transferable. So a great amount of flexibility with going into all kinds of health-related fields. And we can also think about the shortages. We've heard about the shortages in the area. It's across the country. Shortages in medical laboratory scientists, in nursing, in all of healthcare, and so many other fields as well. So we want to help develop those skills in students so that they can start to fill these positions better way. We also want to be thinking about some other health-related fields. So, of course, nursing, all of the like you think about becoming a physician. So pre-med, pre-veterinary, pre-fill-in-the-blank healthcare-related field, right? Pre-PA, right? So become a physician's assistant, physical therapist. All of that is health-related, and to have the basis in understanding human health and disease will allow students to move into all of those different careers. Regionally, at UMass Dartmouth and in other schools in the area, there are associate degrees in medical laboratory science and also bachelor's degrees in medical laboratory science, specifically at UMass Dartmouth, also nursing at UMass Dartmouth, and there's lots of nursing and other healthcare-related career paths at the undergraduate level in our regional area. And if anybody's interested in things after that, I'm also the pre-health director at UMass Dartmouth, so I'm happy to talk to folks about thinking down the road, even after the bachelor's degree, how you would choose an appropriate major to help you to find that career after the bachelor's degree if you're interested in something post-graduate.
What are some of the courses you recommend that high school students take?
Excellent question. So even our aviator mentioned chemistry, right? So obviously to be in the healthcare arena, we want students in high school to be strong in science and math, of course, but particularly in the chemistry area. So the more chemistry, the better. If you can take an AP chemistry if you're interested in a healthcare field, that's going to be very, very helpful. But of course, the laboratory component as well gives you the hands-on skills and really helps the concepts to sink in. So when you can read a book forever, you can listen to lecturing until the lecturer is blue in the face. But when you sit down and you do the experiments and you do the work, that's when it sinks in and the light bulb goes off and we hear the eureka moments, right? That's the good stuff. So if you can take labs with your courses, that will help to solidify the science that you need to have in your high school career to be successful in college in a science field.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We will turn to this side of the room and we'll speak with Mr. Michael Sasso. Michael, what are some of the types of careers in the aviation field? And please include specific regional opportunities.
Aviation has a long history dating back to the Wright brothers, and there's so many positions out there, starting with what Chris does with flight and dispatching, but I stand more on the side of the maintenance end of it, fixing airplanes, avionics, higher technology, those kind of things. We find that's a pathway to a lot of different areas. There's so many transferable skills when you become an aviation technician. Everything from electronics to sheet metal to hydraulics, even folks moving and migrating into flight, engineering, space. There's just so much exploration out there in this world right now. You think about air mobilization and UAVs and rocketry and all the things that are going on. It starts at the ground level with the foundation with knowing how things work and knowing how things operate. I see quite a few young women in the room. This is a place where young women are starting to excel and succeed quite frequently. Right now, the maintenance folks are about 2.5% female across the entire country. And we are proud to say we have about 11% of our population at the community college that are exploring aviation maintenance right now. These careers expand not just to Boston Logan, but to TF Green in Providence, to all of the local folks at Plymouth Airport and all the smaller airports in between. You can pretty much go anywhere you want in this world with aviation maintenance as a career. And the starting salaries are not awful. We're talking about $70,000 a year to start. Travel benefits to fly the world, opportunities to advance into piloting, engineering, aviation marketing, airport management. There are just so many different exploration points for aviation maintenance. I'm happy to say I started at the high school level at aviation maintenance. I was a second-generation kid, and I found my passion pretty quickly as a freshman in high school. And I just explored it and explored it, and spent a good 40 years in aviation. Some of the folks that graduated from our school even actually work for Chris now. We have a young lady who works for Chris who's doing an outstanding job. Chris's own son graduated from the program. My son is entering the program. So I'm very passionate about that, and it's very close to home. And I feel like the opportunities are just endless. If you like to travel, like to make a lot of money, and you enjoy doing things with your hands or learning how things work, this is the right path for you. And I would invite you to come out with this school.
Sounds very appealing. Any specific courses or anything you'd like to advise our students or parents tonight for the gateway to your program?
Yeah, strong math, physics, the sciences really do help, especially the mechanical sciences, learning how levers work and pulleys work and things like that. Understanding basic math equations are really popular and important. The business side of things also helps writing, being able to comprehend manuals and reading some of the technical material. There are degrees out there that run all the way up to a master's degree and PhD in engineering and management, and they all are based around aviation as well. And so it's just a beautiful pathway to a long sustainable career. Right now, if I gave you the numbers, 600,000 plus pilots in the next 30 years are needed, right? And you've probably heard about airplanes being grounded because of the lack of pilots. On the heels of that, of lack of maintainers. Pretty soon we'll be putting airplanes on the ground because we can't maintain them or fix them because we don't have enough qualified people. Both Boeing and Airbus estimate we need 680,000 mechanics in the next 35 years, so there's some pretty good job security in that. And it's almost like name your price at this point.
Our next question is from Mr. Michael Ortiz.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Michael, BHS and specifically our Innovation Pathways programs promote leadership, they incorporate advanced rigorous coursework, and they involve authentic, relevant learning experiences. Please speak to these qualities and how they relate to students being successful candidates for college admission.
Yes, thank you. This is probably one of the most important things to kind of understand is once you looking for a career, looking for things that you want to get into, and that next step is going to college. We're all talking about different careers. We're talking about money. What does that look like? But the first step is going to college. One of the things that we really try to make sure that we focus on as when we're reviewing applications is who you are as a student. Everybody has different philosophies and what they want to look for. But one of the things that we talk about is the math and science. You need to show that you're strong in those math and sciences as you continue. Challenge yourself all the way through. You know, if you're going to be eligible to take those AP classes or even looking at honors classes, absolutely take those times to really participate in those classes. The other part of it is showing what are the activities you're in. I've heard some amazing stories about some of the internships that the students were participating in. Talk about those experiences. What led you to those careers? What led you to those next opportunities? We want to see those on a college application. We want to see what you're involved with. That only strengthens your application as you go through that entire process because you're ready. Show that you're invested. You know, you're doing the research about the schools that you want to go to. You know, particularly, say, for instance, Mass Maritime, very unique, very niche type institution. And the same thing with medical laboratory sciences, aviation. It's really important that you do the research on what you want to look for. There's something else that I do really want to talk about as to be a real successful student is that we understand things happen. And some of our own students that we understood that COVID put a real damper in a lot of students' educations, and we understand that. But there's one piece in that college application that is very helpful for us to evaluate is your essay. Believe it or not, you have 100% control of what you write in your essay, most of the time. Sometimes they give you different type of scenarios, but talk about the challenges that you may have experienced. Talk about the experience that how have you grown, how have you developed. Me as an admissions officer, I want to see that. I want to see your grades increase at the same time, but that's how I can offer you an acceptance. Thinking about the return on investment, how much work you put into in high school is going to be that ultimate reward which you get to be accepted into college. And that equally goes into how much hard work you put into college is those high-paying jobs. And for all of these industries are here, including Mass Maritime, it's high-paying jobs. It's that return on investment. Strong in your math and your sciences, and show that growth. And that's one way that's how you can be successful and get accepted into colleges.
Thank you so much. The personal narrative is certainly an important piece of the application. Often schools offer students the opportunity to interview. What are your thoughts on interviewing, and what would be some advice you would give to students and parents to prepare for a college interview?
Absolutely. An interview is critical. I definitely encourage those type of interviews. Not every institution will have an interview, but it's definitely important for you to practice. Think about why you want to go to those colleges. I'll be honest, during my interviews, I asked this one question: why should I give you an opportunity to come to Mass Maritime? That is a loaded question for anybody. So, let alone is like, it's really important to ask yourself those questions. Practice, you know? Maybe someone, you know, maybe a family member, a parent, guardian, practice that entire time, those conversations. What would be asked? Believe it or not, Google's a great place to say what type of interview questions are. Sometimes those are there. Have that opportunity because you want to be able to present yourself. My other encouragement to you is dress for the part. If you're going to go for a job interview, we ask for professional attire. If you're going to go for a college interview, guess what? Professional attire. That's what's going to set you apart from those other students, because if it comes down to certain spots, those are the lasting memories that they're going to have in saying how well and how prepared you were for those interviews.
Thank you so much. And our last question set goes to Mrs. Clements. Jesse, Bourne High School is reimagining the high school experience and educational experience for students. Given your experience at other high schools, could you please speak to the different experiences students will have here in Bourne?
Thank you. So yes, I've previously worked in 3 different high schools. I've worked in a large urban high school and 2 smaller high schools similar to Bourne. And as Dr. Starkey mentioned, I'm the newest member of the Innovation Pathways team. So is Representative Xaros still in the room? I thought I saw him come in. Is he not? Okay, he dropped out. But, you know, I was impacted when he spoke earlier and he said, wow, I wish we had this in New Bedford. And so I worked at Durfee High School in Fall River and thought similarly, like here are these large urban city schools and not seeing this, the difference is the pathways. And I think that that's what's compelling about coming to Bourne High School. You had mentioned step 1 is the college piece. Like I'm looking at step 1 as coming into Bourne High School and really taking that first step as freshmen and sophomores and figuring out where might we want to go. And so I think, and I'll expand on it a little bit, but I think the Pathways provides access to the advanced coursework that we've heard. I'm lucky that I'm last, right? Because you hear what the panelists are saying about the advanced coursework. And also the Pathways offer technical coursework for students to see, ooh, this is something that I'm really interested in. And some flexibility if it's, oh, I took this course and maybe it's not what I thought it was going to be. There are a lot of opportunities and flexibility right now at Bourne High School that can meet the needs of every student. So that's what I see as a big difference in my experience in working at other high schools.
So could you clarify, Jesse, for members of the audience, if a student is in a specific pathway, do they have courses they have to take and they have to stay in that pathway, or is there some type of flexibility?
So I think I'm going back to a conversation I had with Anne-Marie Strode, and again, Anne-Marie's name has been brought up a lot, and she is a champion for the students and a champion for these pathways. And so I remember that conversation and the way Anne-Marie explained the pathways to me. So if a student chooses a pathway, the only requirements are there are 2 advanced courses, AP Lang, AP Chemistry, AP, if AP Seminar becomes a class. So there are 2 advanced courses that students have to take to meet that pathway. And there are also 2 technical courses that students have to take. So that is 4 courses that students will have to take to meet the needs of a pathway by their senior year. So in addition to taking those 4 courses in 10th grade and 11th grade and 12th grade, Bourne High School students are still taking rigorous, challenging coursework that they would take at what the public high schools have to offer. And so they're not tied into, when you hear the word pathway, we're not forced into, you're in the business pathway, you can only take business courses. It's very, very flexible. And again, I even think with the way the high school schedule runs and students have 7 classes scheduled, they would be able to take technical courses in different pathways and really try that out and experience what they're interested in. So I think the flexibility piece, and again, the advanced coursework that has been mentioned all along, meets the needs of applying to college and meets the needs of career that we've been talking about, that's been talked about already. A couple of things, and again, happy to go last because I'm taking some notes as I'm hearing talking. Females in STEM. The math and science departments at the high school are over 50%. So that's demonstrated in the staff here at the high school. And again, talking about the essays for college and the professional attire for the interview, if you see the students, the seniors in Anne-Marie Strode's class, they're writing their essays, she's giving them feedback. When you see our interns going off to work, they're dressed, they're shirt and tie, dressed professionally. So again, there's really that connection with preparing for college and what engaging in the internships and the pathways can really provide here at the high school. I think that's all. I'm just, again, scribbling notes down as everyone's talking.
I think you did well to answer the question.
Yeah, thanks. And is that my time?
That's your time.
Start playing the music.
I thought it was polite to say that you've done well to
Yeah,
If you're done talking. I aim to please. Panelists, thank you very much for your thoughtful and informative responses tonight. Our panelists have done an excellent job highlighting the world of opportunities that await our VHS students. Please give them a round of applause. I'm opening the floor to any questions you might have. Oh, I see a hand in the back. If you wouldn't mind standing up, please.
Is it me?
Yes.
Hi. I was just curious what pre-AP courses are offered in preparation for the AP program, and then what grade level the AP courses begin.
Pre-AP, good.
So our AP programming begins as early as freshman year. Our pre-AP programming that we started last year includes English 1, English 2, biology, music theory, and history. Sorry, it's a little late.
This year was out.
Yes, and algebra. And algebra, the pre-AP algebra is also accessible to students who are taking algebra in the 8th grade. So those are all the courses that we have for pre-AP.
So as a freshman, you're able to take most of those?
All freshmen are enrolled in pre-AP coursework.
I think part of the question principal said was AP courses. When do those
The earliest they can begin is AP computer science, and we have freshmen who take that.
Okay.
They're taking it now.
So in total, how many AP courses could a senior graduate with?
We just did a presentation. Oh no, we're doing a presentation. Sorry, if I knew your question, I'd be able to pull it right up. Yeah, they could take all of those.
Well, no, because there's only, 7 courses per...
But they can take them over multiple years.
Right.
So we do have students who will graduate with as many as 6 or 7 AP courses. Or more. They could take more. In our school committee meeting, I'm doing actually a presentation on celebrating the scholars in the AP in AP from our previous year, which gives you an idea of how many courses they take and how they perform. Just celebrating those accomplishments. I would bring it up on my personal memory device right now and tell you, but I just not.
Thank you.
Suffice to say, there are ample opportunities here at the high school. There's a growing list of AP courses. It really depends on a student's capacity, right? Sometimes it's not the number, it's what the student gets out of the course. And then you also, the end game here in these AP courses, right, is to score 4 or 5 and get yourself situated so that your opportunities in college are to finish early, right? And those types of things. So really it's student dependent. But I think there are a plethora of opportunities for students here at Bourne High School. And you can take as many as a student can handle. Would be an answer to that question.
Thank you.
And we have open enrollment for AP, and we have a lot of supports for our AP students, and we made the AP honor roll as well, and that's reflective of, access and equity for AP coursework. So just want to give a little plug to the AP honor roll. And we do, Jesse was mentioning, we do belong to Mass Insight Education, and they provide Saturday study sessions, mock exams, and it gives teachers immediate feedback. So
We have another audience question. In the back, please.
Yes, is the Innovation Pathways program only open to seniors for the internship program basically? Or is that something that they can do before senior year?
You want to take it, Jess?
Great.
Yeah.
This year it's open to, I don't know who asked the question, sorry. Open to, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. It's open to seniors, and the idea is for every senior to experience an internship by the time they graduate. So, yes, it's primarily because they're taking coursework to prepare them for that. So we have coursework paired by grade. So it's worked in succession, and then the culminating activity is that internship piece, or capstone project. So if students don't want to do an internship, the other option would be a capstone project, and then a presentation at the end. So.
Another question from the audience? Okay, so I'm going to offer our panelists the last word. So I'll start with you, Chris. The last word on our conversation tonight, and looking for, again, here at PHS, what the pathway looks like.
Well, I think I'd like to speak to maybe some of the students.
Go for it.
This is a career and college readiness program, which are two potentially separate paths. I know my dad had a company called MTS Electric. It stood for my three sons. I interned with him for a few months, and then he came to me and said, Chris, what do you really want to do for a living? Because I know you don't want to be an electrician. The point of that was that I had to actually experience it before I knew that wasn't for me. It turns out, in the end, I picked up a little entrepreneurial spirit, which was part of the program. I just want you all to realize that this opportunity is for you now. You don't have to decide that that is your chosen path. Use it as a mechanism to learn. That's my message to you.
I'd like to piggyback right on that because it's really about exploring, right? So open your eyes, be open to different experiences. And again, don't think that the decision you make today is going to be your career path for the rest of your life. I know when I was a kid, I looked at my dad, had the same job for 35 years, right? And you have this concept when you're young that you turn 21 and you're the same from when you're 21 until you retire. That's not true, right? Career paths meander, interests change, things change, things happen in life. So just be open and explore and be thinking about where your passion lies. That's what I try to talk to students when they're not sure what they want to do. It's like, if you are independently wealthy, you've done all the traveling that you want, what's going to get you out of bed in the morning? What do you want to do? What do you love to do? Because if you love your work, it doesn't seem like work. So try to find that passion. Think about how that's going to fit into a career that's going to be fulfilling. And so that's what I always say to my advisees. It's like, think about where you're going to want to be and think about how that is going to be fulfilling to you down the road. And don't worry that the decision that you make today, you're locked into it because things change, right? So it's definitely a meandering stream, a meandering path to careers. So that's my advice. Explore.
Sage advice. Thank you. Shorties.
Yeah, I just want to say one of the things too is understanding that your next steps is the growth and development of you as a person. And as you grow and develop, these are those experiences as you continue. So everything you learn from coming into high school, goes through the pathways, through the internships, those are all development opportunities for you. Take advantage of every single thing and every single opportunity that's given to you. Because let me tell you, it's one of those things, as you grow, those doors keep on opening more and more opportunities for you. So I can't stress that enough. Just continue to grow and develop. I think this is the first steps forward.
Thank you so much.
So I know there were a few questions around how many AP courses are there and how many courses could a student take across their career in high school. I also, on the flip side of that, because these pathways offer advanced courses, there might be some students saying, I'm nervous about that I don't know if I can be successful. And we also have wraparound support services to ensure that all of our students picking a pathway will be successful in those advanced courses. Thank you.
I think I would just echo what was on this side of the room too, that the pathways, I've been involved in developing pathway programs for a while. And sometimes the straight path is not the only path. Sometimes you have to take exits along the highway to get to different locations, and then you get back on the highway somewhere else in life. And I've seen lots of students start out in the aviation path and end up in the medical field. I've seen people start out in the medical field and end up in aviation as a med flight EMT, right? And so I think there's a lot of different connecting points, and be open to what might come your way in those connecting points. And one of the things you should stay true to is how dependable are you as an individual, right? We talk about professional attire and interviewing and presenting yourself well. One of the questions that somebody's going to ask you along the way, either it's in business or in school, is how dependable are you? Is your word your bond? Are you going to be there from day to day? How much school did you miss? How much school did you attend? That's important for future employers. In today's world, people coming to work is a challenge at times, especially post-COVID. So dependability is huge. And I would say, if anything, be dependable, be reliable, and live up to whatever your promise is.
Thank you so much. Like you said a mouthful there, a straight path is not the only path. And it certainly wasn't a straight path to get to this evening. And there were lots and lots of people along the way that need thanks for putting together tonight. We've heard a lot of names from the beginning of the evening all the way through to tonight. So I want to thank all of those same people again, especially the VHS Innovation Pathways team. But there are some folks I'd like to highlight who have not been highlighted tonight, one of which is Tracy Francis. She's an administrative assistant here at the high school, and Tracy has been working tirelessly to get this whole event organized. So, the custodial and maintenance staff specifically here at VHS, and Kendall, I don't know if Kendall was in the room. He was unbelievable tonight. I pulled up to the back door to unload things for this event. I handed them to him. I drove around to the front of the building. I didn't have my keys to get in. I knocked on the door, and who opened it? Kendall. Like, how do you get everything done? But unbelievable, so I really want to thank him. And I'll close again with a thank you to our panelists for coming tonight and for giving your time and helping the students and families of the performing.
Innovation Pathways Coordinator. I'm so thrilled about the turnout for this event tonight to open officially our Innovation Pathways. We have 2 state designations in business and finance and life and environmental science. Also, we're the recipients of Skills Capital grants, which allowed us to open a business suite with client center as well as a medical center that is home to our ambulance simulator.
Hi, I'm Madeline Rosemille. I'm a freshman in Bourne High School right now, and I'm in career readiness class. Right now, we're kind of doing some, we started off with personality quizzes to see what we liked to do, and right now we're looking into more specific careers that we want to go into.
Hi, I'm Maddie Densher. I am a freshman at Bourne High School. I am in the career readiness class, and the class prepares me for stuff to go on to the
Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm a junior at Bourne High School, and I'm part of the Business and Finance Innovation Pathway. And we're really excited about the opportunities that we have here, and we're excited to hopefully intern in our senior year as well.
Hi, my name is Bella Colombo, and I am doing a senior internship at the middle school doing music education, and my hope is to pursue theater and theater education in college.
I'm Kendall Fortune.
I'm Olivia Tura.
And we're doing our internship at Firehouse Veterinary Clinic. We're both seniors, part of the senior internship program.
Hi, I'm Summer Washaba.
I'm Madison Sexton.
And we're doing elementary education at the intermediate school at Bourne.
I work with the 4th graders with Miss O'Hara, and we basically do either group work or one-on-one with the kids, either like peer editing their assignments or just working on reading and comprehension.
And I'm with the 3rd graders with Miss Gilbert, and we kind of do the same thing. I do a lot of whole classroom activities like spelling tests, a lot of group side works, reading with them, that kind of stuff too.
We're very excited to offer these courses and programming and just being able to offer our students with wonderful opportunities that align with their future career goals.
It's been fantastic, man. I love it. I love it.
Hi guys! We're so happy to be here. We love it here. Maybe.